thought you could start it from there, huh?
Yeah, I got 2 different emails from them on this, and I got one from her.
We'll call to order the December 11th, 2019 meeting of the Belmont Tourism Development Authority. We'll call that to order. We don't have a quorum, so we'll run through the agenda, have some discussion, and see if during that time somebody shows up that we will have a quorum, but we are one member short. Bless you.
Thank you.
So we can't elect a chair or a vice chair at this point, and we can't adopt the minutes from the last 3 meetings. Do I need to do all that again? Okay. Can't adopt the minutes of the last 3 meetings. We do have a request for funding from the Belmont Trolley board, and they did a presentation last month to our members that kind of followed up on a presentation they made about a year ago when we first started discussing the board's taking part in that project. So any questions? You have a formal letter from them, so yeah, Richard, I think you have some questions.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, the question was as stated, did they come in and present, or did they send a letter? I think you answered that, they answered a letter. I guess the second question is, 100,000 is more than I thought they would ask for. So, I'm assuming there's been no real discussion on the funding of that since you haven't had a quorum. But, I mean, projecting out, how does that impact us and what we want to do in the future? What kind of impact is that, making a 5-year, $20,000 commitment?
So I think can't speak for the rest of the board, but with the Home 2 coming online at some point next fiscal year, the presumption is we'll have about $50,000 more per year than we do now. So that would permit us to fund this and grow from a promotional perspective as well, or do other things that the board deems are appropriate.
All right, well, I know that they're going to have extended stay on there, which won't contribute anything to our tourism fund. So when they made the presumptive declaration of $50,000, what was that based on?
That was staff's analysis, not the trolley board's analysis.
Okay.
They'll be providing occupancy tax.
It
There
does.
was some discussion that the extended stay might not.
So,
Shelley answered that. I think it's statutory.
yeah, it's 30 days.
30 days.
I think it's 30 days. Anybody over 30 days, you do not receive occupancy tax for.
Okay.
But Hampton Inn is projecting that a lot of the people that stay at the Home 2 will be similar to the business people they have now. It may be lower management and those sorts of clients as opposed to the people that are actually staying at the Hampton Inn now. But it'll be similar sorts of things. They come in on a Sunday afternoon and they leave on a Thursday or Friday.
All right, I guess another question would be just to think out loud. Most of the things that we have contributed to our finance are events, things of that nature. We're contributing to the construction of a building now. Does that fit into our criteria of what's permissible for us to donate to?
So I think it's up to the board to judge whether that is permissible. It says that 2/3 of our funds need to be applied to promoting tourism activities. 1/3 needs to go to other tourism-related. I don't know what the word is. Other tourism-related activities,
Okay.
not necessarily promotion. So you can build a convention center, you can build a conference center, you can hold an event. You can do things that would tend to build tourism without it being absolutely promotion of those things. So yeah, in my opinion, and I can get you the exact wording of the law.
Well, I mean, as long as the latitude is there to do that, that's fine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a large part of this body's responsibility is assuring that we meet the state statute. So.
I would ask Adrian a question. I mean, I guess my memory might be a little foggy on this. I know that they were going to come to council and ask for money. Have they ever formally presented? Because I'm seeing 300,000 in here.
They presented at the retreat, I believe, last year with that request.
They
had
did?
money in the budget, but they haven't formally come to request.
Okay, because I couldn't remember. I thought it was like here, they said we're gonna come ask for money, but we just don't know how much yet. So they notified us that they were gonna ask for money, but they just couldn't put a finer point on it, the amount, or did they?
Yeah, they did.
They did, okay.
That money is included in their budget, they just haven't come and made the request.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh, no, sorry. I was just perusing.
So, we'll accept this as information, and we'll determine if our bylaws allow us to vote via email or by conference call, and I'll make those arrangements, if it's permissible.
Now, is answering them on this time sensitive, that we have to do an electronic or conference call, or can it be deferred to January? Hopefully we'll have a quorum physically present.
My understanding was it was time sensitive.
Yeah, I think it's time sensitive in the sense that they want to go to other funders. They want to go to private funders, and and a lot of times one of the challenges of going to a private funder is they want to know that you have support elsewhere. So I think that would be the urgency.
I think they're scheduled to meet with Gaston County Travel and Tourism this month.
This month, yeah, and that was another thing too, they wanted to be able to
Because
to
Gaston
say
County's going to want to know that
that we're
Belmont's on board,
yeah.
travel and tourism. So, all right.
So we'll accept it as information, and I'll pursue the possibility of our voting for this being email. You have in your packet the financial report, and I'm going to provide you with one other document for your consideration over the next month. But the financial report is the expenditures seem to be usual and customary expenses. I don't see anything unusual that we need to bring to your attention. We do have occupancy tax proceeds revenue through November, so our budget projection for the tax proceeds for the year was $100,000. With 5 months in, we have $43,879. So that's very good. That's we feared we might not do as well, but that brings us down to just doing a fairly average December through June to meet that $100,000 budget goal. Any questions about the financial report? And it's good to have that those November proceeds in there. Apparently the new system that the county has is a little bit better, a little bit more timely for this. I did commit, we can't do the photographer for holidays report. I did ask Carrie to manage, I think the board authorized me to spend about $500 to hire a photographer to take photos for the holidays. Asked Carrie, since we were hiring the gentleman that works at Far Yarns, if he would take those photos. She was going to schedule him to do some photos, and I don't know if she's done that or not. So. And I will put one other thing in your hand as far as the mid-year budget update. I'm sorry I didn't include this in your packets. A little bit of explanation, kind of walk through this a little bit. It's a little bit different way to look at this, different from the financial report. There's some changes that a little bit of the information has changed, so I wanted to go through that. Under revenue, you'll note that we budgeted $100,000, and I just noted that we would expect to make that $100,000. Under other, we expected to raise some money to get some grants and those sorts of things on behalf of Belmont Blooms. We have not done that. We have not pursued that. So, my recommendation would be that we take that out of the budget. But then, if you go down below under marketing, under the expenses, I would also remove that $20,000. That's seed money for Belmont Blooms. But you should note that we will still spend within that other advertising, within the SEM, within the event brochures, we do have about $9,000 that we're going to spend on Belmont Blooms to promote it.
I mean, why did we not go after grants, and was it this
I
board?
couldn't, yeah, we didn't have anybody to do it.
Okay, so that's my next question. Was it you, this board, that was going after the grants?
No, it was supposed to be the committee. Phil is working on the parade portion of that, and he have some ideas to raise funds for the parade, participation fees and those sorts of things to support that cost, the cost of the parade. So, and you know, I think that y'all may be doing some other things, some other grants that would support Garibaldi Fest and other downtown things, but they just weren't specifically to support this. I think as we move through our budget year, if the city needs some support to do some things, I think this board can consider it. But I want you to be clear, if we do that, it's probably going to come out of our fund balance. So.
Okay, so because of a lack of time to pursue grants available for this...
Specifically for Belmont Blooms, that is not to say.
Belmont Blooms.
Yeah.
You're saying now that we're in a position of having to go into the fund balance to cover what may have been appropriated through grants?
Yeah, yeah. If we want to do that, we would have to probably go into our fund balance. But our commitment to Belmont Blooms and promoting that, and that's this board's responsibility, is to promote that. We are still living up to that commitment. So, and keep in mind too, there's a lot of other organizations that are involved in this, the Garden in particular. We'll be spending a considerable amount of marketing dollars on that. The city will have some promotional efforts that they'll undertake as well.
Okay.
We're working with the Gaston County Art Guild. They'll do some promotions on behalf of Belmont Blooms. Holy Angels is pretty engaged in it, so there's different organizations that are going to be engaged that will promote it. So we're still confident that it's going to be a solid event. As you go through this, you will also note, if you look under grants, you'll see that there's a space and then a line for the GDC image campaign. We allocated $15,625 to that. We did not budget for that. So presumably that money is going to come out of our fund balance.
What is that?
It's the Greater Gaston Development Corporation image campaign, the Go Gaston campaign,
Okay.
that you've probably seen quite a bit of.
Yep.
Hold on, say that again.
The Greater Gaston Development Corporation image campaign.
Yeah, we're going to have to go into our fund balance.
We've already allocated that, and we've already paid it.
Okay.
So that in essence will come out of it wasn't budgeted,
Yeah, that was like, what did we commit, 17 grand, something like that?
$15,625.
Yeah, sorry, there it is.
Yeah. So, and I also want to make a correction. When I presented this budget, I said we had a fund balance of $65,000. That number was actually $89,264 in our fund balance. So, because of the lag in collecting occupancy tax, we have had to spend some of that money, but it comes out to about that $15,000. And so, even though I reported the balance incorrectly, we are now down, or at least last month, our fund balance was down to $73,639, which is about the difference in that $15,000. So, looking at this kind of differently, it appears that the $20,000 or the $40,000 in fundraising notwithstanding, everything else is as it was presented at the beginning of the year. I wanted you to have this information now because in January the Lively Agency is going to make a presentation, and I want you to have this information in hand now so that if you feel like we need to make some other adjustments either to advertising, promotion, or other things, that you have this information in advance and you can make those recommendations. Any questions? Anything else from the board?
No.
If not, we'll stand adjourned. 30-minute meeting. Thank you. I appreciate you being here.
How did the ice skating go?
I don't know. How's our skating going?
Well,
Going well?
It was well attended?
Nights, Thursday, Friday,
Yeah,
and
it was
Saturday.
well attended.
Saturday was obviously the best attendance.
Yeah. But you don't know if we got, you don't know if we got photographer for any of that.
Don't know if she did schedule yet for that.
There wasn't a photographer present, but I don't know what the source of that person was.
So that may have been him then.
no,
No.
it was with Angela. I had requested, we are working with a photographer for city events and getting some stock photos of different times of the city during the year. And-
That's what we're doing too. So,
Yeah, so Graham, what is his last name? Smith Photography, Graham. Angela Street's connection. And they were around taking pictures on Saturday night as well. So I requested that he take pictures of the town during Christmas time and of Christmas Village. So
That's great, because
between what you guys are doing and what we're doing, we should
Sure,
have
that's a lot of stuff, yeah.
Make sure to always, make sure to tell Malia and